Hello and welcome back to Rimworld. This episode of my Rimworld series really is a sort of standalone episode because the new DLC dropped last week, the Rimworld Odyssey DLC. And I think it dropped on Friday, and today is Tuesday. So I've had a few days to look at it, although I didn't get too much time over the weekend, but it's very, very cool. And so what we're going to do this episode really is to just kind of give an overview of what was added with the DLC and explore some of the new possibilities and really look at what might be the next run to do with Rimworld based on what the new options are. So, we do have a save that we ran over the last couple months, and that is this one here. And I checked, and it does actually load. Now, in terms of the mods, I was running a whole bunch of mods in 1.5. And now that we're in 1.6 with Odyssey, many of these aren't working. I added all the mods that we were using before that have been updated for 1.6. And as I did so, I realized some of them I may think about removing for the next run. Because some of these I think are actually kind of nerfs. My approach to Rimworld was I was new to the game, so I basically watched a few videos and looked at some mod configs that people had, and I just kind of threw in the kitchen sink of the top, 20 mods I saw that people were adding to sort of balance the game. But for example, this one here, Dub's Break mod, it indeed was updated for 1.6. This is a mod that modifies the way that people have psychological breaks. So to have a mental break of a certain intensity, the pawn must have at least one thought equal to or greater than that intensity. So I think it thresholds the breaks to some extent, and that might nerf the psychological side of this a little bit. So I'm considering getting rid of this. We had it through our whole Cross the Tundra series, Tundra Transit Challenge series, and I liked the way it played, but I have to think about whether it's a nerf or not. There's a couple other ones here, like Fists Aren't Made of Steel. People attacking doors and stuff are weaker than with bare fists is weaker than with a weapon. Sidearms, allowing people to carry sidearms. Some animations. This is a randomization tool for starting, which is fine. I don't think that's a big deal. OgreStack. So this allows bigger stacks, bigger stack sizes. And yeah, that has got to be something of a nerf. So something to consider. Beautiful Outdoors, also a nerf, allows people to, mood increases from being outdoors. So I may think about these, whether or not I really need to up the difficulty. I did find that our last run was quite difficult, but we succeeded. So, but what's funny? Like I was looking at the Steam page before I started here, and I just crossed the 400-hour mark in Rimworld. I feel like I just started playing Rimworld. I don't know much about the game, but I have 400 hours in it apparently, according to Steam. So it's like there's a lot to learn in this game, and I'm really just still a novice, but the last run we did was really fun. It was challenging for me. It was a naked brutality start, but it was, and it was challenging. But I've seen other people's challenges that are playing out there, like who I've been watching. I've been watching a guy called Mortal Smurf, who's got a great YouTube channel focused on Rimworld. He's a really good player. And of course, there's Pete Complete out there. Those guys who do really epic challenges. There's others. Obviously, there's a huge streamer community for Rimworld. But yeah, I'm still a total novice at 400 hours, guys. I think at around 1,000 hours, I'd probably consider myself kind of better. So Snap Out is another nerf. It allows pawns to break the other one out of a mental break. This is a nerf. You got me. So fights end early. Social fights end early. Ugly Together, a minor one, but removes the social debuff and lower romance chance between pawns that are both ugly. It's a funny one though. So I'm going to review this. Some of them didn't roll over to 1.6. So no more lethal damage threshold. This one I gain a nerf. Basically, it allows you to it nerfs. It slightly reduces the chance of being killed outright. Pick up and haul. This is what I'm waiting for, and it is another nerf, but it allows pawns to carry multiple objects in different pockets and stuff, basically. Pawns can carry lots of stuff in the game, but when you ask them to haul, they don't automatically collect different types of things. They just carry one type of thing. I'm really waiting for this one to roll over because it just, it is a nerf, but it's one I like. This one, when food gets stacked, basically food poisoning or food contamination can run through an entire stack, I think, and this corrects that somehow. So these are all nerfs basically that I'm kind of waiting for the update on, but I have to also make a decision about whether I really want to do them or I want to get a little more hardcore. So we'll get back to that, but the bottom line is that it does allow you to load old saves. Let's load the save that we were playing with Lumi and the Tundra Transit Challenge just to see what's happening here. So, you know, this is just to get back in the game. And so we left off with Lumi and everybody having massive fights. Lumi, at the end of that series, Lumi lost her husband, so she's still trying to get over that. We also got a psychic drone on the go. They have a decent base. You know, they transited across the world from here all the way down to here. So right away, you know, and the thing we were anticipating the most about Odyssey was, for me, was the change to the world. You know, the ways to make the world more interesting, more detailed, more challenging, more varied. You know, as a story generator, Rimworld has kind of a combinatoric space that you can play in of environments, of characters, of events, like this big combinatoric space where you multiply all the characters by all the environments, by all the events, and you get like an infinite story space that you can walk through basically. And then there's you, which is the other aspect of it. So this is one of the things I love the most about Rimworld, really, is that it, randomized procedurally generated world with parameters. So it basically allows you to create this massive multi-dimensional space that we can play in, and presumably you can have unique experiences in, that are just kind of a result of you in this high-dimensional game space. I think that's what Ludion Studios is onto, and I love it. That's really what I like about this game, is that it's, to me, one of the best instances of that. So the Odyssey DLC to me was super exciting because it enriches this so much. And actually, you look at the DLCs that I've installed, I only have Biotech and Odyssey. And to me, those are the two DLCs so far that have done just that, have focused on enriching the survival environment and the character depth. I mean, ideology, I'm on the cusp of buying, but it's a layer of complexity I'm not really ready to go to yet. But anyway, so the big news about Odyssey is that it added a bunch of new biomes, and it added, and maybe even more interesting than the new biomes, there's I think four or five new biomes. We'll try to go through them in a second, but it also added landmarks, which are custom like prefab. I don't know if they're prefab or procedurally generated. I'm assuming they're procedurally generated because pretty much everything is prefab like things. So here we have, and interestingly for this old save, this is a 1.5 save, it's gone and it's put on all these landmarks. These are what all these orange things are. They weren't there before. Sorry. Wait, which one is it? These orange markers, none of these were here when we played the Cross the Tundra challenge, but they're here now. So check it out. They've been added. This is the Blue Scorpion launch pads. So it's a Tundra square, but it has an ancient launch site in it. So that's like a custom building / scenery. And there's a whole bunch of these. Like there's, I don't know how many. I think it's it's almost 100 or so maybe. I'm not sure, but possible landmarks that then multiply with the number of biomes that you have. So it's pretty cool. However, because this map was generated in 1.5, it does not have the new biomes. So you'll see if we go through this, it just has tundra, boreal forest, ice sheet. I didn't even notice that when we played last time, this ice sheet down here. So there's the standard ones, and there's the jungle ones. Boreal forest, we also found coal bog, temperate swamp, and then there's a jungle somewhere out here. I think we found some jungle tiles maybe somewhere, but anyway, so if we were to play this, we wouldn't get the new biomes, but we would get the new landmarks. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, Tamat. Hey, thanks for coming, Tamat. And Zoe Hawk, really nice to see you. Thanks for coming. There'd be these cool landmarks that you could explore, and they're really neat. So that's one thing that's added, is the landmarks. Another thing that they added was like 40 animals, and I'm assuming that you know, over time, perhaps those animals will filter into this save. I haven't seen any yet, really. But we just literally started. So the animals are another massively cool aspect of this. And yeah, like 40 new animals, guys. It's just that, you know, boom. With different properties. And I haven't explored it at all, so I don't know anything about them, but there's birds now, and with my little experimentation about it so far, like the birds can come and fly in and eat your food, so it adds like a layer of, just another layer of complexity, which is cool. Okay, so we covered landmarks. There's the biomes we're going to explore in a second. And maybe the thing that you're going to see the most if you're on YouTube is the grav ship. So Odyssey introduces the grav ship, which, you know, I'm mentioning it last because to me the grav ship is actually the least important aspect of Odyssey. It's a good thing. It's cool. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I think it's amazing. I love it. But it's also the least important thing to me that Odyssey added. So we have a quest here, and it added the grav ship to this save. So mechanoid signal. You've detected a signal from a mechanoid ship in orbit. The ship has malfunctioned and is slowly losing altitude. So it's a mechanoid ship. By falsely responding to the signal, you can make the ship crash land nearby, letting you salvage valuable grav tech. So let's do it. Okay. So it's cool that it added this to a 1.5 save. You know, Ludian Studios is like, you know what? If you really want to play your old save with other biomes, you can. No. Okay, so what just crashed? Look at all this, guys. So we've got a bunch of dead mechanoids. We've got some mechanoid ship chunks, but most importantly, right in the center, we got your grav engine. So this is cool. So, and I'm not going to go through this in great detail because there's other YouTubers that will go, well, you know, we're going to play with it today. We're going to mess around with it, but this is a grav engine. So this is the center of a grav ship. And you can build it out. So, okay, welcome. Thanks for coming. These, okay, and then these grav light panels they give you, which are the core of all of this. So you've got your grav engine and you've got your grav light panels. That's what the core things, and some dead bodies, basically. And what you can do with these grav light panels combined with steel is you can build out, I haven't done this yet, guys. This is my first time doing this. Roof foundation. I don't know. You know what? I don't think we have the research for it. So if we go in the research, you will now see... I don't think you need microelectronics for it. Basic grav tech. Here you go. So this is a new tech, and it's a cheap tech. It's only 300, and you only need electricity to do it. So they really gated it low, which is amazing. Which is okay, amazing but questionable as well. Like, do you go from electricity to grav tech? You know, you don't have to have microelectronics to build gravity field extender, ship hull, pilot console. How do you have pilot console without microelectron? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm a little confused by that. I think they gated it. I think they should rework this, like, just sensibly. You know, if you're gonna get rifles and you're gonna get, you know, transport pods. To me, that sounds a bit like pilot console, grav ship hull, small thruster. You know, it unlocks all these. So grav ship hull is the most important one here, and what that is it takes 7 metallic. Oh, so you can build it with all kinds of stuff. You can build it with sorry, I'm not really seeing this here, but we'll look at it in a sec. I'm not going to follow this through on this save, but I just wanted to show you what will happen if we were to play this through. Is you could then go research that quickly, 300 research, you know, bang that out quick, and be on to building this grav ship. So you build hull with these grav light panels, and you build the pilot console and the thrusters and the engine and the gas tank, and it runs on chem fuel, and this thing can actually take off and fly to other maps. So you can build a base on those grav light panels. Those panels constitute zones or areas that can be taken off, and you can then leave and fly. So back to the Tundra Transit Challenge, our whole purpose was to have a nomadic existence where we moved from here all the way down through the tundra to here. Well, you could do that kind of a challenge with the grav ship, you know? You just need to farm chem fuel, and instead of what we were taking is we were taking everything on our back, on the muffalo and our yaks and our horses, instead, which I thought was cool, by the way. I thought it was cool being low tech and kind of nomadic. Like, I loved it. But basically you can do that with a grav ship. And really cool about the grav ship too is you're constrained so heavily on space. So there's a lot of pressure to bring just the right stuff and fit it all in. So for microers, for min-maxing microers, you can really blow your brains out trying to fit everything into this ship and take it with you in the most efficient way possible. I think that's great. Like, it's just a cool thing. So you can do our Tundra Transit Challenge with a grav ship, which is just so cool. And I just think it's amazing. I think it's so cool. Now, I'm not saying I would necessarily want to do that, but I'm just saying that as a potential run, it's very, very cool. And so anyway, I'm so, and you'll have to probably watch, like, let's go do it right now. So I'm going to leave this save behind. And let's launch into, like, this is just to show you what would have happened with 1.5 if we continued. And it's cool that you can go ahead and do it. Like, if you're really attached to Lumi, you know, we could. And I'm going to leave this save. I'm not going to delete it or anything. It's just going to sit here. But yeah, let's leave Lumi and the team to sort of recover from their wounds and sort of think about their brand new grav core that they can mess with. And let's go back to the main menu. So, all right. So let's pretend that we don't want to do that. Let's take a look at the new biomes first, because I started by saying the biomes are awesome. And should I just give you the grav ship? I've never done this. So there's a new start scenario called the grav ship, which is seriously cool. It's seriously cool, guys, because you start with a grav ship first of all, of course, right? Who would want to? So with the Tundra Transit Challenge, we started with nothing, and part of it was, you know, the naked brutality and just starting with, you know, the classic survival start. But this is very different. You're starting with 3 spacefaring people with all kinds of stuff and a grav ship. So let's read it. Your grav ship sits docked at the orbital relay. As your crew begins to salvage the equipment, you realize that it isn't ancient human tech, it's a mechanoid beacon. The relay crackles to life and broadcasts its war alert to a distant mech hive. They're hunting you now, and they will eventually find you wherever you go. Oh my gosh. Let's do it, guys. Let's just look at it. I'm not saying we're gonna like play this, but let's just, I've never done this, by the way. Let's just start one with my normal settings. They like starting with a 50% world. I'm gonna start at 30% world. And lately, okay, let's just start with the full normal settings because, you know, we want to see everything. Cabbage is gonna be our thing. Let's generate this. But this is gonna start us in space, guys. So I don't know. This is the first time I've done this. So let's start with just a random. I'm gonna take whatever they gave us because we're just doing a demo right now. Let's just do it. You guys sound great. Eddie, Alona, and Thierry. Bodyguard, shelter child. You need to have somebody with intellect above 0 in order to fly the thing, and they all do, so we're good. But anyway, let's just start and see what we get here. Okay, so they say, you've screwed up and now the mech hive wants you dead. Its terrifying murder machines will arrive soon. Gather the valuable grav light panels, then use your grav ship to flee to a safe location on the planet below. To launch the grav ship, select the pilot console, then select the launch command. Choose a landing spot. From now on, wherever you go, the mechanoids will eventually find you. To stop them, you must find and defeat the mech hive itself, guys. So this is, let's just get these guys going on this. Hauling. Let's haul everything. Are they gonna haul? Let me just get them doing this. And again, we're not gonna play this seriously, but I just figure haul this, guys. Okay, maybe I have to make stockpile zone. I don't know. I'm not sure why they're not taking to these shelves, but maybe the shelves are custom. You guys gonna go? Now they're hauling. Now they're hauling with a purpose. Because they're coming. So let's see. What does it say? Nikon is beds? What are you doing? Oh, he won't haul. This guy's a no hauler. Eddie. He won't haul. Oh, Eddie, he won't haul. I'm not putting beds in right now. So, okay, so let's let them haul, but if we zoom out, look at this, guys. You know, with Rimworld in the background, is that not so cool? It does not look... Oh, check this out, mechanoid threat. So the mechanoid MechHive is conducting scans to determine your location. It will send a massive rate of hostile mechanoids when it locates you. Flee the map before the mechanoids arrive. Incoming mechanoids. Cool. Insanely cool. So this is the Battlestar Galactica scenario, right? The Cylons are after us, and you're on the run. I mean, not quite in the sense that in Battlestar Galactica they were moving through space, but you can do that. So if we go to the world, let's just check it out. So now look at the world. It's got a space layer with a moon, Gorilla Moon. It's got space stations, orbital company. It's got an asteroid. It's got a platform, heavy weapon station. All these are crazy, kind of like dungeons maps that you can go to. So cool. So let's zoom in. If you zoom in, it goes in through the atmosphere to Rimworld now. And look at this map, guys. So let's just have a look at Rimworld while we're kind of paused here. Oh, guys. I'm just in awe at how cool this is. So let's look at so we've still got Tundra. Is this too loud? Did they up the audio on me? No, my music's still 10%. That sounds loud though. Is it not? Tell me if you guys think it's too loud. It's cool. I love the music, but it's too loud. Maybe too loud, but let me know. We've got desert. We've got boreal forest. That's normal. Tundra, desert, temperate forest. Okay, lava field, guys. So we now have the lava fields. And some of these have landmarks. These three do. These are landmarks. So they've got a mountain, a lava lake, and it's sunny. Okay, nice, Ankh. Thanks for saying so. So the landmarks are now interacting with the type. So you have lava field with the special crater. Oh, so cool. And so that was the lava field. That's a new biome. We've got tundra. We knew about that. We've got boreal forest, temperate forest. We knew about that. Arid shrublands, guys. Nice. So arid shrublands. This one's really cool. It's like grasslands. It's steppe basically covered in grass. And so, you know, fire is going to be epically crazy. Here you've got Scarlands, which is so cool, guys. This is like wasteland. So it's like, you know, think of Nuked City or like forlorn, bombed out war zone, kind of This War of Mine, kind of end of, so abandoned, like just shot out Scarlands, basically. Great name for it. So cool. And so what else do we have? There's one more at least, which is called the Glow Forest, I think. Let me see if I can... There it is, Glow Forest. So Glow Forest is interesting. I actually played a quick Glow Forest start, and it's like a mushroom zone. So it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a mushroom zone. Supposedly there's these like big sulfur vents that are pumping sulfur out into the sky, and it's blotted out the sun, and there's nothing can grow except for mushrooms. There's a mushroom forest, dark mushroom forest. And it's interesting and spooky. I don't know, it's cool. And we got Scarlands. I think that might be it. So brushland, arid shrubland, Scarland, Glow Forest, and lava fields. I think those are the new biomes. But one other really cool aspect, funky rad bomb track. Yeah, Bonnie Heatherlands. Nice. Scotland, basically. I'm sure there's Scotland here somewhere. Well, let me think. Well, I was thinking Scotland would be more like the boreal forest or the tundra, to be honest with you, Funky, but Taiga, you know. I think you might be at a higher latitude than me. You probably are, actually. I'm not at that high latitude. I'm at Southern Ontario, so. Oh, there's one more. Glacial Plain, right. So, yeah, guys. So they had ice sheet, right? Sea ice, sorry. Sea ice? Ice sheet. I don't even know. I've never played on these, to be honest with you guys. When we played Tundra Transit Challenge, I started on Tundra, bordering the ice sheet. But this one, now they have sea ice, they have ice sheet, and then they have Glacial Plain, which is crazy and cool. I think Glacial Plain is basically a mixed biome that has some ice mountains and stuff, and you know, there's other YouTubers that will give you the whole tutorial rundown on all this. I'm just going through this, like, sort of riding my own cool wave on this, kind of flowing where we want to go with it, but like, I'm telling you, it's crazy. So check this out. One other really cool thing is I just saw it a second ago. Check this out. It says Tundra, and down here it says features mixed biome. So not only do we have new biomes, but we also have blending. So this is a mixed biome. Ankh on sea ice? I've never done a sea ice run, but there's lots of people, like I think Peak Complete and people that have done sea ice only runs, which are insane. I didn't have the cojones to do that with this last run. I did cross the tundra because I felt like crossing the tundra was about as hardcore as I could get. But check this out. Check this out. The Bolu iceberg, dude. It's a biome that's on the edge of the tundra. It's a special one. This is a landmark, right? That's an iceberg. Like, that's insane, right? What is that like? I have no idea. And this is just one of the landmarks, guys. So there's this many landmarks. Now, they're not all different, but many of them are different. And all of them are going to be kind of like unique, crazy, weird experiences. So we went from like 6 biomes, right? Or something in 1.5 to like multiply out whatever we have now. We have like 8 core biomes plus the mixing plus the landmarks. So it's totally, plus space. It's totally insane. So from a survival kind of, back to what I was saying at the beginning, like a survival multivariate game space, the complexity just went up a heck of a lot. And it's just it's so cool, like the varied experiences you can have. So anyway, let's get back to our guys. So that was just my little quick, let's touch on it overview. Arid shrublands, yeah, I'm interested in arid shrublands, to be honest with you. And glow forest. So just to give you a little preview, last playthrough we did tundra, which was cold. I'm kind of leaning towards a hot playthrough this time. So we still have extreme desert. Those are from the previous 1.5. Cool music, hey guys? It's new. It's spooky and cool. I don't know, I'm loving it. And we got tundra. Look at all this. Let's go back. So, and of course we still have the poison, the pollution that we had before. Extreme pollution, which I don't really know. I didn't play with it too much. Okay, so let's go back. Let's let these guys finish up. Let's get out of here. They did it, eh? Why aren't you guys... Oh, can you not take these? What are these? Can these... Slag chunks, we can't break them down. We don't have a way to do it, do we? So we have to leave them behind, I think. Maybe I can add chunks to this for what it's worth. Is it... Mechanoid slag chunks. Go for it, boys. Boys and gals, let's haul them. Make sure everybody's not too tired. What is this thing? Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, they're here. Oh, what? They came early? Or was that 11 hours? That was the 11 hours, guys. Oh my gosh. I might have got us busted. Look at the number coming. Run. 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 Oh gosh. I think we're busted. No, don't you dare. Go inside. Go inside. Go. Go inside. Oh my gosh. They're at the door. Oh. So get this. I've never seen this before. This is the first time I've ever seen this. Pilot, co-pilot, and crew. Okay, we got a 70% pilot. Okay, so travel to remote destination using your grav ship. Unless you build a grav anchor, your current map or anything on it, anything not on a grav ship substructure will permanently lost. You won't be able to return. So this is an interesting feature. So when you leave somewhere in your grav ship, something about the gravity space distortion basically nukes the site. So every time it moves, it basically nukes its site. Unless you build a grav anchor. So you can actually build it and kind of have a main base that doesn't get destroyed and your grav ship can come and go. But for typical sites, unless there's a grav anchor, it, you get nuked. So let's just take a look at this. Crew count 1 for 5. So you need more people to fly this properly. Small thrusters, 2 for 4. Eddie's pilot ability. So this is giving us a quality. At the current quality, the grad ship won't be able to launch again for 5.6 days. Interesting. Additionally, there's a 67% chance of having a minor incident when landing the grav ship. That's crazy. So you can see that, as usual, right? They want to add some carnage to this. So let's begin. Let's get us out of here. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I blew it, guys. Ah. Oh, I deeply blew it. I deeply blew it. Go. They can't fly. It's over. Oh my gosh, it's over before it started. No. Oh my gosh, go fly. They're panicking. They can't do it. Oh, Randy, you got us. I was like 11 hours. Okay. 11 hours is quick. Goes by real quick. So let's get rid of this. Is this the one that just, sorry, I didn't even read the name. You guys are dead. Okay. Sorry, boys. Let's do that one more time. I'm actually just gonna leave this time. Oh my gosh. That was insane. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Oh my gosh. Generate that world. Oh, I maybe did a 50% world gen. Whoops. Okay, we're just taking whoever we have. Okay, I'm not gonna mess around this time because they dropped right on us. What's this? Make an exit. We're gonna leave the slag chunks, boys and girls, and just go. We need to make a stockpile zone. Go get their stuff. Go, go, go. Let's get this customized. All I want to do here is show you the grab ship takeoff because I don't actually think we're going to be doing this, but all this stuff, guys. Haul it, haul it, haul it. $11 hours. So what hour is it? 7. Yeah, it was fair and square. I let it get to 1800 or 1800, and that's what happens. So joke's on me. I mean, here, let's still take the slag chunks. Why am I doing this? Why am I such a masochist? Oh, you guys aren't taking the slag chunks for some reason. Oh, I think I have to put them on haul. Urgently haul those. I think I just did a lot of talking. Maybe the clock was ticking when we were in the map because it really didn't feel like we went that long. Take those slag chunks. Go for the last one. Let's go for max here. No storage space. Wait for it. 6 hours to the mechanoid threat. Okay, let's actually get out of here. Okay, everybody on board. Okay, it looks like it's going to take everybody. This is not as good as it was. 60% this time. What is the pointy central thingy? Yeah, let's go. Okay, we did it, guys. We're going to launch. So where are we going to go? Cost and chem fuel. How much chem fuel do I have? I don't know. I don't know how to tell that. Oh, this is the range. Okay, so this hexagon here is the range. So let's go. I want to go to a lava field. Let's go to lava field, guys. Oh, but let's put on the landmarks. Oh, we're kind of constrained, but what options do we have? There's no lava fields with a landmark. The Benastra Poison Lake. Increased pollution, decreased animal life. What's this? Just a steady... The launch pads. What's this? It's grassland. What's this one? A windy peninsula. It's kind of cool. But I think we should see a new biome. Arid shrubland. I did kind of want to go to that. Let's go to the lava field because I'm not actually going to play there later, I don't think so. Zoe, hey, what's up? Thanks for coming back. Hare habitat. Oh, so there's some... Yeah, I think we're going to just go for a lava field on the edge of arid shrubland. Go. High volcanic activity, periodic eruptions. Let's go. Sounds good. So there we go. Check it out. Check the gravity distortion here. And here we are flying. Boom. Okay, this is, we have to pick a landing zone. So here's the new map. We've got lots of rabbits. We've got lots of volcanism here. And what you want to do is land your craft near, you know, all the stuff you want to harvest, basically. So if we take a look at this, you know, it's a pick your base, kind of like we always do when we get into a map, is you pick your base and you, so here's some components, which would be good. Yeah, up here is looking kind of good. Look at the growing area. So one of the things about lava zones is these periodically erupt and lava comes flowing out. But I think the area that remains afterwards becomes very, very fertile. So that's what this is, high fertility there. These might, I don't know. I don't know if these are post lava flow or what. But basically, we want to land somewhere where we can get a lot of metal and a lot of components. So we're not actually going to play this run, but let's land here because there's some components here. You know, I'm just trying to learn how to do this, but you got your guys there. We're not going to be using that, but I'm saying just land. You got your lava to be concerned with. I'm just going to land right here. I'm just going to put it down like so. Now, one of the things you want to do is make sure you have space to build your ship. So there's that. Now, this is like kind of like garbage land here. So maybe we want to just put it here. I don't know what those red marks are. Oh, those are the thruster, like, burn areas? Or let's see what happens. Slight glitch there with the overlay. Thruster breakdown. Okay, so we landed and we busted our thrusters. Broken down. So that's what they were saying. Things can go wrong. So our ship basically crashed. But what you can do now, of course, is, you know, just build a base, plant stuff. So I think Funky was asking previously what this thing is. And it's your grav engine. So this is the core thing. It can actually be stolen. And these are fuel tanks that are connected to it. So we have 100 extra chem fuel here, which is cool, actually. But we wouldn't be taking off till these get repaired. Let's see, are they going to repair them? Cool, and they're filling the tanks. Based on the grav ship's launch, there was a 79% chance of a negative outcome. These guys don't have beds here. We have a lot of metal. So what you can do is right away, so this group started with, they started with basic grav tech, so they can build all the core things. Now to get standard grav tech, you need to do microelectronics. And that gives you it just gives you large thruster and large tanks. So I feel like, I honestly think that just, you know, conceptually, most of these things should be after microelectronics. Like, why do you need microelectronics to build a large chem fuel tank if you can already build a small chem fuel tank, you know? That's just not that believable. Steel breach axe. So I didn't even look what we have in here. We have some weapons. It's kind of cool, actually. So yeah, you know, one could go to town here. Like, you know, now the question is, can we take off right away? Like, I just prepared everything. Let's try taking off. Engine cooldown for 7 days. So no. We're stuck here for 7 days, and I think my understanding is that in this scenario, the mechanoids come every 10 or 11 days or something. Well, yeah, what you can do, so see this radius, Tamat? This is the radius that you can build substructure in, and it has to be contiguous. So you can't just have islands. You can have ridiculous things like stretching out, and let's just do some of that. So if we build in. First time I've done this, so grav ship substructure. So let's say we want to build another room. Let's build a room. You got to be careful with this because it's commitment, right? Let's build a room here. Let's build wings on this thing. Oh, let's make it symmetrical already. Wait, 5 by 5? Wait. So these guys are going to go and build. Okay, since we're here for a sec, let's build a dumping zone. Get rid of the slag. Yeah. So he's going to go and build. Okay, sorry, the 84 for 500 is how how many cells it can use. Sorry, how many extensions can you do? Let's see these guys build. Why aren't they building? Oh, here they go. Now they're building. So see, every time they finish one, it counts up. Yeah, Funky, it's a mobile base. But you're limited in how much footprint it can have, how many tiles you can take with you. Okay, high hopes for a grav ship. It's called the Revenge ship, okay? So basically, as they build, you know, you're using up your tiles. And critically for the tiles, let me just look at that one more time. You need 7 steel. And I'm pretty sure you need a grab light panel. I don't know why it's not saying that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, grab light panel. I did say 7 steel. 1 grab light panel and 4 steel is what it takes. So we're limited strongly by the grab light panels, which we have 360 of. So you can basically almost fill this whole thing up from the get-go. You can massively increase your ship size. The one thing is, if you want to go into space, it needs to be airtight. Now this little subsection was airtight. It has grav ship hull, steel hull. So that is airtight. But these guys also, as you'll notice, are wearing... Okay, sorry, you guys have to sleep outside. That's pretty harsh. No sleeping spots. No need for that. These panels, okay. So you want to know the important part to Matt. How do you get the panels? You can apparently buy them from certain traders. They're extremely rare. You can get them from doing quests, and you can also get them from... They come from asteroids. So if you go to... It's called... I forget what it's called. There's a certain ore you can harvest from asteroids. So there's an incentive to go mine asteroids and do space missions to get this stuff and max out your ship. So basically, next time we take off, this, you know, we could, and you can build, we don't have to build. The cool thing is this is airtight, I guess, and they can go to space. And they're wearing space suits that are also airtight, back suits. So to go to space, you need a vac suit or something with vacuum resistance. You can see this has 69 vacuum resistance and this has 32. Together they give 100. So these guys can go into space. They can live in space, I think. But the ship is airtight. I think every once in a while they have to come in. I don't know the details, but they have to come inside of a sealed area. If you use other, like we can make wood walls here, you know, like we can go make wood walls and have a wood ship. But those areas will not be airtight in space. You can still fly in the atmosphere with them fine. We can fly this all over Rimworld, no problem. It's basically a convertible, you know. You don't even have to have a roof on it. You could have a convertible spaceship, airship, basically fly it around Rimworld. But to go into space, you need an airtight compartment and you need vac suits to exit the vehicle. So there's some really, really cool constraints to how this works, right? And so you can imagine just doing like a Tundra Transit Challenge where we kind of leapfrog from map to map, stripping things, avoiding the mech hive, you know, on the run. It's great. Like the Transit Challenge has basically been implemented as a run, you know. It's super cool. Chance, what's up? Thanks for coming. So I've been thinking about what I want to do for the next run. So that gave you, I think I gave you guys like a pretty quick, nasty overview of all the features I think that the DLC has that I'm aware of right now. So basically the core things to me, in order of importance, I would say it's the biomes, followed by the landmarks, followed by the grav ship. Because to me, the grav ship's cool, but it's this very specific type of run. You know, it's like, you want to do a grav ship run. Okay, cool. But it's like a certain quest. It's kind of a little bit like an anomaly. There's certain pathways and ideology, certain pathways you want to follow for very specific types of quests or types of experiences. So the grav ship's kind of specific. And that's cool. I think it's very cool, and I love it. But the biomes and the landmarks are going to be to all runs, are going to be affected by them. There's the other thing I didn't mention is there's also weather changes. There's new weather and there's new animals, right? So that's all part of the environment upgrade. So to me, that's the strongest part of the DLC that you need. That is now like indispensable, I'd say. You need Odyssey, you know, because you need these biomes and stuff, and you need these upgrades to the world, whatever kind of run you play. But the grav ship is certainly something to shoot for. You know, one thing that was weird about our nomadic run, and it was cool, like the Tundra Transit Challenge, was that you know, we left everything behind. It's only what we could take with us, and we went through that kind of painful process of leaving the base that you built, leaving your defensive structures, walking away, abandoning it so it's gone, and you know, setting up all anew everywhere else. It was a little painful every time we got to a new map cell and I had to set up again, and I enjoyed it, but it was difficult and hard. Here, they've given us a way to kind of hedge that, where you can take part of your base with you, you know, like your core nugget of your base you can take with you, and some of your supplies and stuff, instead of having a herd of animals dragging your base. I suppose the alternative would have been, you know, like how they moved like ancient structures on logs, like having your Muffalo drag like your base basically on logs across the tundra. Instead, you have to do it like this. So I just think this is insanely cool. It's really cool game design. I mean, I'm not sure I immediately want to play this way though. Okay, there's multiple aspects here. So do I want to play the grav ship right away? Kind of. I'm not so sure I want to be chased by the mech hive. I'm personally, as I said in the beginning, I only have 400 hours in this game. I'm not comfortable with the mech hive. That mech hive owns me every time I run into the mech hive. I hate the mech hive. I'm scared of the mech hive. I've been tempted to disable the mech hive. That's how I feel about the mech hive. So to have the mech hive on our case, it's amazing. And yeah, we can get away. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I think it's cool, but do I want to play that right now? It's a very specific experience. I think in some ways, okay, let me go back to the original Rimworld, and something I never did in the original Rimworld, which is the final ending, which is build the spaceship and escape, or go to the spaceship and escape. I never actually did it. So my understanding, and I've never even seen anybody do it, I've never even watched it happen on YouTube. That's how uninterested I was in it. But basically, you can build parts. If you finish the tech tree, you can build parts to a spaceship and take off. That's the original Rimworld ending. And that's how you're supposed to finish the game. It's something like in most survival games, like the Long Dark, like we never had that, right? There was no ending. Or, you know, Project Zomboid or 7 Days to Die. There's no like ending, you know? In Rimworld, they actually did an ending. And I never really wanted to do the ending because I didn't want to end it, but that's how you would end it. But the weird thing was when you went to space, it was, as far as I know, that's the end. So it's like you never went anywhere. The cool thing about the grav ship is that you're going to space, you're going somewhere. So building a spaceship now is actually building a spaceship as opposed to just building your way out of the game, you know? So I was kind of uninspired by the normal ending, and I never played or looked into it really. But now, building towards your spaceship actually functions as a spaceship, goes to space, you know, goes to asteroids, mines, has a whole tech and production cycle based on space travel, has a vacuum, you know? All of a sudden, building towards a spaceship is suddenly insanely cool and awesome, right? And so, to me now, they've given the game the ending it should have had initially, and I don't fault them. Like, you know, this game's come a long way, and it's been amazing the whole way, I guess. And so, I'm glad they got here. I think this is just what they would always have wanted to do, and they've done it. But I don't know if I believe necessarily at this point in starting with this end game tool, which is the grav ship. I'm kind of more of a believer in working towards it. Now that being said, in my understanding is that, okay, so in biotech they added something called the Mechanitor, which is a quest line where you can build robot factories and build robots that can be your minions, and you can kind of avoid using pawns. It's sort of like something in Fallout. You remember let me build this wall. Sorry, just get a few of these cut so you can see them build the walls, but let's let them finish this. But yeah, the Mechanitor was like a quest that in your first map, I don't know if it's here actually, I'm not seeing it. It may be disabled in this particular scenario, but in most randoms, like regular starts after biotech, in the first map, you'd have this thing which is like a Hulk, a mechanoid Hulk that's lying on the map. And if you go and harvest it, you get a special tool that allows you to become the Mechanitor and do the Mechanitor quest path, where you build out all these very specific things to control robots. I was never interested in controlling the robots. I like the humans and all the people, and I like this sort of mushy, you know, mushiness. So I had no interest in that. And but nonetheless, when you start a game, the mechanic thing is there. Now, I found out recently that because building a custom scenario that you can turn it off. You can just disable it, which I like. So, you can just make it go away. Because to me, it was slightly immersion breaking. I hate having to overtly say no to all these things that come. Now, in this, it seems like when you start a new quest that isn't this scenario, just a regular RimWorld playthrough, this thing, a quest spawns, and it says, and we did it just in the previous save, in our previous Tundra Treasure Challenge save, and it drops this thing. So right off the bat, you can be Naked Brutality, you can have this core sitting on your map. Now, you can't do a whole lot necessarily with it because you have to research all the stuff, but this core can be sitting on your map for a long time, which to me is a little immersion breaking. Like, wouldn't this thing get damaged by weather and stuff? And surely raids can steal it. So I guess what you do is when you want to play a regular playthrough towards this, you kind of leave the quest just in your quest, quest list, and you drop it down when you've done the research to actually use it. You don't just let it sit around prior, which I suppose is what you have to do. But anyway, I think that's a little weird. I think they should improve that. I think ultimately this should be acquired somehow organically, and I believe that there may be quests that let you get another grab core, so maybe you can just ignore that quest, cancel it, and just have to find a grab core out there. And I'm going to look into this because to me that would be the much more natural way, is to have to explore the world, do quests to eventually unlock your grab core. Like, I think it should be strongly gated, So that's kind of my intuition about all this, is that it should all kind of build towards, like, space flight. It shouldn't be given right away. I know I sort of said that in a long way there, but let me just build some silliness here for us. So we could build two, like, anti-chambers here. And what you could do is you could build, like, these could be open. I don't have to roof them. They'll get roofed now because I build rooms, but you could leave them open. I can unroof them. You could put in, hydroponic cells and have the sunlight work on them, like a convertible. You can carry just a open deck and have sunlight use it. Now I think this has to be clear, right? Because this is going to be a jet engine. You can't build on it. So yeah, Funky, RimWorld can easily be overwhelming, and I'm overwhelmed by it as well. Even though I have the 400 hours, I'm still massively overwhelmed by it. And what my answer has been to only install DLCs that I really think I need and want to acquire the complexity on, and that has been Biotech and Odyssey. Royalty, Anomaly, and Ideology, I've decided to hold off on just because I can't mentally stomach the complexity. It's too much. I'm leaning towards Ideology, but it's really complex, and I don't know if I really am that interested, but I'll probably end up going with it. I'm also a little leaning towards Royalty because Royalty really doesn't have much to it. It's super light. It's like they didn't have much in it. So if Royalty was $5, I'd probably bought it already. But for $20, I'm kind of like, I'm going to wait a bit. I don't need it, so, And Anomaly, I have almost no interest in. Like the sort of horror story aspect, to me, it's just too... I would even go as far as to say that in Biotech, the vampires, I find a little bit too Anomaly for me. Like, I get it. I sort of like it, but they're weirdly overpowered, and I feel like they should be part of the Anomaly DLC. I kind of don't like vampires. Like, I feel like the vampires should be part of the Anomaly DLC, actually. But anyway, let's not rant too much about that. So, guys, so basically, I've spent a bit of time talking to you about the DLC. I'm leading up towards what I'm feeling about what I want to do for the next run, and I want to discuss that with you over the next hour, tell you what I'm thinking for the next run, and get your feedback. I'm not necessarily committing to any of it, but over the next stream or two, I'm thinking of starting a new run. So what was I just talking about was I like the idea of starting simple, building towards spaceflight, right? To me, this thing is not an initial game thing. Like, these guys starting with Vaxtude and stuff, they needed to do this. They needed to give us a scenario where we could jump right into this. They couldn't gate this permanently, but if you want to see this type of run, the Escape the Mechanoids run, there's a lot of big YouTubers doing it right now. You can go find somebody better than me that will know what they're doing, and they will land this thing and, you know, fly it all over the place, be chased by mechanoids and kick butt. I've already watched a bit of it, and it's awesome. So if you want that, it's out there. I don't necessarily need to do that. You know, I can just do what I feel. So I think I don't necessarily want to start with this. That's not to say we can't mess around and try things, but yeah. What I'm thinking is starting with something along the lines of the Tundra Transit Challenge to begin with. I'm thinking of starting with basically the idea of the playthrough I'm thinking of doing, and I've probably been done. Don't get me wrong. I haven't looked that hard to see what is out there, what people are doing. I don't care that much. I'm just thinking what's interesting me right now. But I'm thinking of doing like a evolution of caveman to spaceflight thing, where we start with like a caveman basically. You know, so along the lines of the naked brutality, like somebody eating raw meat, basically in a cave, and research and fight and survive, and maybe not, maybe get killed, but hopefully survive and fight our way up to space flight. So you remember the scene from 2001: A Space Odyssey, where you know, the proto-human is smashing people with bones, and then they throw the bone up in the air, and it gets converted into like the space station. You know, that iconic scene in 2001. That's probably the most important scene in 2001, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, that is sort of what I'm thinking for the run. And yeah, oh, you can see here. See how this is on the foundation now? So this is all like part of, this is our ship. The ship's bigger now. If we click on this, it's a bigger ship. Now we only have, what's that, 376 spaces left? And this is more. This whole radius is more than 376. But we can only use 376. To get more, you need to build extenders that both extend this range and give you more space, I think. There's, you know, somebody knows better than me, but that's basically how it works. It's you research, you build, you can build out your ship, and this constrains the shape. This constrains the number of tiles you have. Sasquatch, thanks for coming. Nice to see you. So yeah. So the other thing I'm really interested in, and I never explored it. So we played Costa Tundra. I bought the biotech expansion because I was like, biotech, that sounds important. I didn't do jack with the biotech expansion in the Tundra Transit Challenge. I stayed with baseliners. So let's look who these guys are. I think they're all baseliners. Yeah, they're all baseliners. If you look at this species here, baseliner. So look here, germline genes, xenogenes. These guys have very simple genetics. They've got hair and skin color as germline genes. So germline genes are the ones that get passed on. So, okay, let's take a step back. Biotech, what is it? It adds a whole bunch of stuff, but critically, one of the core things that drew me in, I'm like, that sounds cool, is it added genes, heritability, children, you know, children. So it went from being colonists couldn't have kids to colonists can have kids, and there's genes that get passed on, and the genes have cool effects. And it added species, so we accordingly. So we have baseliner, but there's a bunch of species that biotech added. And you'll notice, like we noticed them in the Cross the Tundra Challenge, because even though our character Lumi was a baseliner, we got attacked by all kinds of species, and we had a Yatakin, and we had a couple other species maybe as part of our team eventually. And so biotech added species, which, yes, you know, back to just the baseline complexity of the world, to me, genetics and speciation and all that traits was a core element of the complexity that I think was required. Although in the Cross the Tundra Challenge, I did not explore it in any way, shape, or form. So one thing I want to do is explore that, you know, in my next run. And that's nothing to do with Odyssey. That's just me exploring the DLC that I bought and never really looked into. So back to my 400 hours. I've done 400 hours of survival in this game, had an amazing time, and haven't scratched the surface of the features that I've bought. Not even scratched the surface. So I kind of going back to basics, even though I just bought Odyssey and I think it's amazing. For me, what's really been cool about Odyssey is it's added to the base world that I can now explore biotech in and eventually maybe build towards a spaceship and do all that cool stuff and go to space. Because I think this is so cool. Like, look at this, you know? And I've seen some YouTubers play like asteroid landings, and it's just so cool. I'm just telling you, man, there's like too much cool stuff here to really get through. And it's mind-blowing, and I don't even want to I don't necessarily want to be spoiled on it all. I just want to play with it, right? So let's go to let me take you where I think I'm going with this. So let's let these guys go in their lava field and have fun and, you know, I'm not gonna play these guys. Let's just go delete this. Well, we don't have to delete it, but I have a lot of saves, though. I should thin this out a bit, you know. But yeah, this is the one. I have a couple that I was playing already. Okay, so 10 o'clock. I've gone for an hour. I don't think I've ever talked this much in an hour on YouTube. I think I just said like a trillion words. I literally didn't stop talking for that hour. I've been spitting words out here. I'm like parched. But you can probably tell I'm excited because it's so cool. What this game has done, and back to knowledge about games, guys. You know how like once you know everything about a game, it's boring, you know? So once you know, like the Long Dark, I played the Long Dark a lot. My favorite time with the Long Dark was when I knew nothing about it and I was getting my butt kicked and it was all mystery and it was all blanks and my mind was filling in the blanks with things I thought the game designers put in the game, but the game designers didn't. And this is actually something that Tynan Sylvester, the lead designer on this of Ludion Studios, talks about in Rimworld. And he has a word for it, I think. I should know this now because I saw one of his talks on it, but this idea that people fill in the gaps, the gamer fills in the gaps, and even in things that aren't implemented, he'll kind of speculate on or she'll speculate on. And I love that, you know? So in the Long Dark, there were so many things I speculated on whether they existed, you know, like wolf behavior. Even though wolf behavior in the Long Dark, there is no wolf behavior. There's none. There's actually no wolf behavior in the Long Dark. It's a zombie that follows you and then runs. That's it. There's no actual behavior, really. I guess you could say hunting animals is pseudo behavior, but it's ridiculously simple, embarrassingly simple, and it has been for 10 years. But when I first played, I didn't know that, and I inferred all kinds of cool behavior in the wolves. Well, the same goes for this. Here we have a vast parameter space. Who knows whether it's actually interesting or well implemented? I don't even know. But not knowing is the best part. I'm going to go into this and get twisted and my mind will fill in the gaps, you know? So I'm going to kind of restrain myself a little bit on watching YouTubers on this. Like I obviously need to know how the base mechanics work. And I'm going to do a little bit of research into biotech, you know, the genes, and I have already started, but yeah, like this is a great example of hugely complex space that I don't know, and not knowing is the best part, so to speak, perhaps. Maybe I may, you know, if you follow me, you know, and I think, yeah, I think Titan's onto something with this, but yeah, Funky, yeah, it's heavy on the imagination, yeah. Yes. So let's take a look here, guys. What have I got? So caveman evolution, and I gotta think of a better name for it, but this is what I described to you just now. Think of the scene from 2001 of the caveman throwing the bone up into the air, into space, I should say, not just the air, into space. So we've got caveman evolution. Tribal start with a club and some squirrel meat. You know, you start with one person. I made it so they're young, and with the idea being this. So it's a specific gene combination we're gonna go after here. And I'm going to follow, the idea is to follow, it should take us forever to go to space, if we even do. And what I'm interested in is a run that follows the genetics. And I've been kind of looking into this a little bit because folks have, some of the Reddit, you know, folks have been complaining about the genetics, the heritability. So I do have a mod I'm considering using calling Better Gene Inheritance, which improves the gene inheritance for biotech. Because apparently the way it worked in stock biotech, and I have to look into this because I don't know if it's still true, is that gene inheritance is diluted in such a way that from generation to generation, you lose genes and everybody regresses to baseliners, excuse me, which would suck. So there may be some fixing that's needed to do. And before we launch into this run in depth, I'm going to do a little bit more playtesting and reading. And, you know, if we're going to do a run that's going to go potentially a lot of episodes, you know, generationally, we have to make sure we get it right, or as best we can. But yeah, this basically forces more inheritance. That's what I think. And that would be the whole point. And I think I've heard people in the Discord saying, in the Reddit saying, you know, that's what they want, is better inheritance so that you can have generations, right? So the whole point is they're going to start young, they're going to live a long time, theoretically, and they're going to pass on their genes. And it's the genetic line and the kind of mingling genetics of the colony that are eventually going to go to space. So the concept of generational cavemen caveman actually evolving, not just within a generation, scientific evolution, but cross-generational evolution to spaceflight. So it's a grand image, but whether the game can deliver that, I don't know. But this is the attempt. So caveman evolution. Let's get in. Of course, Randy for now. But you know, I've been looking into it. People do custom storytellers too, because Randy has been criticized in some ways And, you know, it's something to think about. You can do a custom storyteller. One thing I did not look at all previously was custom, this button here, which is so cool. So check it out, custom. So you can set it to to losing is fun is the difficulty I've been playing. And that sets all these parameters. So back to what we're saying about massive parameter space, but oh well, Chance, it is indeed complex. And when you haven't seen it, it's just that your eyes glaze over. I bought Rimworld because Turkey's team played it once. I saw him play it. I thought it was picked it up on sale. I played it for five or 10 minutes. I'm like, that's too complex for me. And it will take me hundreds of hours to learn. And I dropped it for over a year or more. Dropped it maybe for 2 years. And I came back to it for some reason. And I put 400 hours in since then. And now here I am, definitely hooked by the complexity, but in no sense have my head around it. So that's where we're at. So custom playstyles, you know, losing is fun. I didn't realize losing is fun is 220%. I saw all these people on YouTube doing 500% difficulty. That's what they mean when they say 500% in Rimworld. It's losing is fun, but then 500%. And what this does is it ups the threat. So let's see, adjust the size of the threats like raids, infestations, and the difficulty of quests. I can tell you I do not need that. 220, losing is fun. This would be like being crushed into dust is amazing. You could call it or something. I'm fine with losing is fun. Losing is fun for me. Getting just punished, just extreme penitence is not fun. Well, it might be actually, but we'll wait until I'm better. I need to get to 1,000 hours before I do that. And the guys that play 500, hats off to you. You guys and gals, you guys are good. So, all this stuff. Look, check the economy. So basically, losing is fun. It nerfs a lot of your stuff. Research speed. You get less, same loot, but I don't know. I haven't even looked into this, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick look at what you can tweak. You know, it's crazy. Unwavering prisoners. This is really cool. So I thought I'd show you guys this. This is potentially one of the coolest variables. Adaptation. Gosh, we'll see if my voice holds out. I'm talking more than usual, so my voice is burning faster. We'll see if we get the full 2 hours here. Adaptation growth rate. So let's read it. Adaptation means the storyteller makes the game more challenging when you're doing well. An adaptation score grows over time and is knocked down when you take damage. This setting adjusts how fast the adaptation score grows over time. So this is basically over... Man, I'm confused. I don't understand that actually, but adaptation impact. This setting adjusts how much the adaptation scores affects the difficulty. I still don't know. I have to read up on these, but basically the storyteller punishes you more if you're doing well, and he goes easier on you. Randy goes easier on you if you're doing worse. So this is a gradient on that, basically, I think. The rate is 100%. I think basically if it's less than 100, you can get ahead of it. Like it scales less. It's less. The punishment he would give you for being rich, X-rich, is only like 90% of that punishment. And then the impact. Okay, I don't know. Somebody's got to watch a YouTube video. I have to watch a YouTube video on this. I don't plan on touching this. I just thought I'd show you it because it's really cool. And then there's this. You remember last in the Cross the Tundra series, I was doing everything I could to keep us poor because I knew that wealth is what Randy pays attention to, and Randy punishes you based on wealth. So yeah, in normal mode, the storyteller scales threats according to colonist count, player wealth, and a variety of other factors. So it's not just wealth. Wealth independent mode removes the wealth factor and replaces it with a fixed progress curve based on time. The time is counted from the founding of each colony. So only recommended for those looking for a strict challenge. So this ignores the sort of it ignores the discount you get for getting your butt kicked, basically, and just as time. So you can be on year 12. It maxes out at year 12. Year 12, if you get busted and your colony gets burned down, and you have one pawn left, well, you're getting the same threats you would be as if you had, you know, there's no there's no forgiveness whatsoever. You're just getting the beats. It's pretty awesome. You can turn off children. You can make sure babies are healthy. No child raiders. I think that's probably a good thing. So you don't have to kill as many children, ultimately. I mean, I'm a little sensitive about this. But I do think that, hey, I wanted biotech, I wanted gene inheritance, so we gotta have children. I have to accept that is the sort of cost of doing business in the world of genes. I just thought I'd show you guys this. I don't plan on changing it right now. Losing is fun's where I'm at. Commitment mode, of course, is important. That's the dead is dead, permadeath. In terms of a world, I was thinking I'm gonna do 30% world generation because 50 is huge. For now, just because we're messing around, we'll just do 30. As I said, cross the tundra. Because we're talking about, okay, so sparseness is important for a hard start. I like sparseness. In the Cross the Tundra challenge, we did tundra, which is cold and sparse. The opposite, of course, is desert. The challenging thing about the tundra is that you have a limited growing season, as we did. So we only could grow, you know, a short summer interval. Now, looking back on the Cross the Tundra series, I was a total noob because what I could have easily done is created indoor grow areas. If you have grow lamps and enough power, and I had the technology for it, I could have just done indoor grow ops. And I didn't, because I didn't know about it. Which goes to show how noobish I am about this. So I made the Cross the Tundra challenge a lot harder than it needed to be. But the main constraint I was interested in with the cold biomes was the limited growth opportunities, which can be nerfed by hydroponics or even just indoor grow areas on dirt. So to me, that takes away the uniqueness of the tundra, of the cold. Hot, the other thing that cold gave us, the big benefit that cold gave us, was we kept our food from rotting all the time. All I did was take the roof off our freezer, and through most of the year we had frozen freezer without power. So in a way, the tundra is easier. The desert's the opposite. So the desert you can grow anytime, but presumably in the tundra, if you have power and you have a grow lamp, you can grow anytime too. If you're smart enough to know that those features are in the game and you've played a little bit. In the desert, it's kind of the opposite problem. You have to stay cool. You can grow anytime pretty much. There's fewer growing areas, but you can grow anytime, but you have to keep things cool. So rotting's a bigger deal. So, I mean, it's one, it's one or the other. They're two sides of the same coin. In both cases, research and a little bit of wealth can eliminate the challenge. You can get over it. But anyway, we did tundra last time. I'm thinking we do heat is the long and short of it. So we're going to make it still kind of low rainfall, slightly higher temperature. Population I like to be a little sparse. That's just my vibe. And I'm noticing that you can add a couple more tribes that aren't added by default. So why not add those? I saw somebody else doing that. I think Mortal Smurf does that. And I was like, why not? Yeah, add some. These are human tribes, though, I think. They're baseliners. But they can also add some other species. And right there, you can see all the species. So biotech adds baseliners, the standard human being with those just hair and skin color. Excuse me. Dirt mole, hussar, waster, pigskin, Neanderthal, impid, genie, Yatakan, and starjack. Those are all the default species that come with biotech. So back to the complexity thing. Let's go look at that. So we're going to generate this world. Did a 30%er, so it's faster. And what you can see is that instead of a cold world, we've got a hotter world. We still have tundra. We still have a little bit of ice sheet up here. Sea ice, sorry. And maybe a little bit of ice sheet. See? Ice sheet, yep. But we got a lot of desert. We probably have some extreme desert, I want to say. Not seeing it yet, but some boreal. There's still a lot of temperate. There's some tropical rainforest. There's a lot of arid shrubland. I like that. I mean, arid shrubland, right? I want to play in that biome, to be honest with you. And we have some extreme desert, okay, out here. Look at this. What's this? Extreme desert with altar wastes. It has dunes. Like, cool, right? Don't you want to see that? Like, I don't even know what that's like. That's just one random landmark. A biome-specific landmark, guys. You know? And there's an oasis here. Like, you can't not have this DLC. You can't play Rimworld anymore. Look at this. Lava flows. Gracie's Hellscape. Oh my gosh. I could just spend time looking at these insanely cool landmarks. An ancient warehouse. this one? Puddle. Mountain, caves, pond, increased fish. Oh yeah, there's fishing. They added fishing to the game, guys, too. Look at this. Chem fuel stockpile, infested settlement. A chem fuel stockpile. So you could land there with your ship and raid the chem fuel. Yeah, sandworms, Onk. Nice. Okay, so we did spend a good 40 minutes talking about the insanely cool new biome and landmark add-ons that are just mind-boggling and super cool. And I just, you know, there's like so many hours of play here that I don't even know where to start. But let's just select a random site for now. I mean, I guess since we're gonna do it, let's take a abandoned colony. Well, let's just try that. Why not? Okay, so here's where we go into the gene stuff. So let's hit it, guys. Xenotype editor. So we wanted to talk about genes. Oh, and so I should say, you know, they have a Neanderthal. So yeah, so Neanderthal. So, you know, I was talking about the 2001 Space Odyssey. We're talking about caveman evolution, caveman to the stars. I got to think of the right name for this, but somebody else probably did it better already. But I'm going to try to be my own person. But yeah, let's look at this. So they have a Neanderthal. You know, why not Neanderthal? We could use Neanderthal. Let's take a look at Neanderthal. Bio. Neanderthal. So this is going to be a little crash course in the genetics in biotech. So we got a Neanderthal. They've got a bunch of genes. They have no xenogenes. They're all germline genes. There's two values here, okay? They give you with this whole genome workup. You've got complexity and you've got metabolic efficiency. So basically, every time you add genes, you add complexity. I guess there's more than 12 here, so most of them add +1 complexity. Some don't. Okay, these ones don't add complexity. Just the sort of cosmetic ones do not add complexity. But the ones that add complexity are the core functional ones that actually change the function of your organism, okay? So as you add functional complex ones, you get complexity. And there's some reason that's a bad thing eventually, I think. I don't know what exactly, but I have to look into it. The most important thing from a day one perspective is metabolic efficiency. So good genes give you reduced metabolic efficiency. Bad genes give you better metabolic efficiency. Metabolic efficiency is how much food you need. Hunger rate times 0.8. So because we have a positive metabolic efficiency, we get an 80% hunger. So your organism has to eat less to stay alive. As you add good traits, you're gonna have to eat more. If you keep them balanced, it'll be what it is by default, 100%, okay? So as you can see, the Neanderthal has some pretty thematic things. Strong immunity, so they are immune to diseases faster than normal. That's nice. 100%, 10% disease immunity. They're a slow runner, so I guess the Neanderthal is slower. Excuse me. Move speed minus 0.2. I'm assuming that's a 20% movement penalty. That's horrible. That's a horrible penalty. But I guess it's like kind of like big man move slow kind of thing. Metabolic efficiency to look, that gives you a +3. So there's a huge benefit for taking this bad trait. Cold tolerant, you know, min comfortable temperature. He's good down to -10. He's good to +10. Aggressive. This one's interesting. So Neanderthal's aggressive. Basically when they have a psychological break, they have a double the chance of doing a violent break. And they also tend to have violent fights with other pawns. And they do prison breaks more likely. The more quickly they do prison breaks. So that's kind of a savage one because violent fights between pawns are brutal and insanely disruptive. Strong melee damage, that's amazing. Melee, 150% melee. Robust, incoming damage, 75%, that's amazing. Reduced pain, that's amazing, 50% pain. Slow study, so global learning factor, 50%. This is kind of thematically in line with earlier hominid species that is not as intelligent as Homo sapien, I guess, right? Poor shooting, so they don't shoot too well, I guess. Poor social. Now that's actually thematically right too. Didn't Neanderthals like form smaller groups? I guess it's speculative, but I thought that was something that at least there's rumored to be true about Neanderthals. And poor intellectual, that kind of factors in with the slow study. See, this is global learning factor, so this affects skills. This affects research, I guess. This gives you -4 to intellect. So that's Neanderthals. Kind of interesting, eh? Definitely a possibility. They actually have some space in their genome for more traits because they have a hunger rate plus times 80. The other thing I'm looking at with this is thematically the Neanderthals should have, you know, cold and heat resistance, like they're sturdy, right? But I also don't like these because it's basically like giving you free clothing, right? Like a lot of the game is making stuff, and a lot of the research and hunting and the things we do in the game to overcome the challenges of temperature are to make clothing and to control our environment by building houses and stuff, you know? So by adding these traits, you basically remove part of the game. Like it's like removing a biome. Like instead of being tundra, I'm in temperate, you know? It's like changing your biome, or you can think of it as like giving you clothing. So I don't like them. You know, I know they're thematically there for Neanderthal, but I don't like them because they basically just remove challenge. They nerf challenge at the expense of metabolic efficiency, you know? So like, I don't know. I'm just not feeling them. This one's, you could argue whether this is thematic. I don't think Neanderthals, I don't think were violent according to theme. Now, I'm not saying we want to play Neanderthal, but anyway, I just thought that was interesting to think about, like what these types of nerfs do, or these bonuses. They just kind of remove the challenge of the biome. They remove the challenge of clothing. So Zoe, Cro-Magnon. I like it. I forgot about that. I forgot about that term, Cro-Magnon. That's pretty awesome. Okay, thank you for that. And yes, suggestions are very welcome here, guys. So please throw them in there. But let's look at what I came up with. And this I came up with, I'm going to be completely honest, I came up with this 30 minutes before the stream. So that's how much knowledge I have, and I'm sorry. Let's go into the Xeno editor. Welcome to the Xenotype editor. So you can create your own custom species here by adding crazy genes. Look at them all. Crazy genes. And they end up, if you select them, they end up here. So as I add them, they end up here. This is our selected set. Okay? And as I add these genes, look at down at the bottom. It's tallying the complexity, it's tallying the metabolic efficiency. And look, it won't let you do this, I think. I think you have to have a minimum of -5 metabolic efficiency. So a hunger rate of 225 is the max it will allow you to do. That person just has to cram food in their mouth. They're starving, basically, to feed their insane genes, which is cool. Now, you can, these were good things. These are special abilities. You can offset them with bad things, of course, to keep it balanced. Just to look through some of the abilities that are on station here. These are special abilities: acid spray, fire spew, foam spray, animal war call. We saw animal war call with the attacking species. So those are obviously very special abilities, kind of crazy ones. Excuse me. Hemogen. These are all the vampire genes. You know, this one, I don't know what they do. I'm not going to look into the vampire ones because, as I said before, I felt like the vampires should actually be restricted to. It should actually be restricted to anomaly. And you know what, guys? There might even be a way that I can do that. I might be able to banish these genes from our game. I think they're too occult, right? And like, I grant that in lore, you might be able to say that vampires in some way were genetically, you know, there's some gene story, evolutionary story to vampires. Sure, I'm not against that from a lore perspective. You know, God bless science fiction / fantasy writers. But in our game, look at how they're so powerful. First of all, they're so powerful. Vampires almost can't die. They have this crazy ability to inject their genes into other pawns and overpower them. My sense is that they're extremely imbalanced. We ran into a vampire, I think we just killed them though in the previous one. So I may try to look at banishing these from the gene line for us to look at a custom playthrough with no vampire genes. But if we have to have them, I guess it's okay. But you know, we saw the vampire scenario in the Tundra Transit Challenge, and it was, you know, okay, we killed them and we took their stuff, so we just raided them. But in my other playthrough, which I have offline, I actually captured a vampire, brought him into the settlement, and I looked into it. And it's a whole mini game, keeping your vampire alive. You have to farm hemogen, you have to keep him alive, give him death rest. There's this whole like structures associated with it. It's a whole thing. And I'm not in love with it. And it's a distraction, I think. It's just too different from all the other things that go on in the game. So anyway, that's a sidebar on how I feel about vampires. Yeah. Maybe there's just too much like modern popular culture TV shows that I haven't even seen, but I sort of resent for just taking the vampire thing too far. Like for me, vampires, I'm kind of like, I'm still in the world of like, you know, the movie Vampires, or like, I don't know, Lost Boys or something, or, oh, what's the one with, what's the one that, it'll come back to me later, but it's the one that Quentin Tarantino did with Rodriguez, where they go to Mexico, and it's like a half show, half in the US, half in Mexico. Anyway, it's a crazy vampire show, but I don't know. I have limited tolerance for vampires. There's about 3 or 4. Yeah, Nosferatu. I saw the original Nosferatu chance, and I liked it. I haven't seen the... Oh, no, I did watch the Nosferatu remake. And what did I think? I think I liked the original better, the black and white one. I played Vampire the Masquerade way back when, and I liked it. So I'm not totally against vampires. I just feel like it's a slight intrusion of a very specific lore into this game that I feel like is somewhat outside of the game's balancedness. And that's how I feel about Anomaly too. It's the intrusion of some relatively specific fantasy sci-fi lore into the game. And I just choose not to embrace it, I guess. Okay. I mean, Royalty introduces psionic control and mind control. And I'm not so sure how I feel about that. Maybe I'm a little more amenable to that for some reason, but anyway, let's just continue. Let's try to stay on track here. It's 10:30. Got to try to get us to where I'm at. So you've got all your mood resistance. This is just like you're unhappy. I don't see a reason for this. Like, you know, unless you're balancing something. I don't know why you would do this. You know, this is weird. Temperature. I talked about this already. That you're basically just nerfing map conditions and biome conditions. I'm not sure why you would do those. You know, sun sensitivity and stuff. Okay, I could sort of see that mattering. Certain dark areas, you know, internal people that live indoors. There's a gene loadout called the Dirtmo that is basically a miner that has. They're great at mining basically, and it's all built around that. They have light skin. They're kind of like, you know, they don't have much pigment. They're nearsighted. They mine. They have UV sensitivity. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I'm not against it. And I could see if you did like crossbreeding with this, you could get some interesting combinations. So I'm not against this. Cool. I mean, so these are all the different species that came with biotech, and they all kind of have, you know, Hussar. This one has all these crazy combat traits. Great shooting, great melee, you know, they're hyper aggressive. I'm not going to go through all the traits, guys, you know, because it's too much. But let's, how do I clear all? There's probably a better way to do it than that. But, okay, so how am I going to constrain this discussion we're having? It's a one-way discussion. Diatribe. How can I turn this diatribe into a tribe of Cro-Magnon survivors that I'm thinking of using? Look at all these aptitudes. You can bias skills, and basically what I've been doing is using these as balance. And then these are really insane. I don't know if I want these. These are crazy. Alcohol dependency. Carrier of these genes need to ingest alcohol on a regular basis to survive. But listen, it's not just alcoholism, which I think you can get in game from using alcohol. It's after 5 days without alcohol, carriers will suffer from alcohol deficiency. After 30 days, they fall into a coma. After 60 days, they will die. So it's not addiction. It's something different. It's dependency. They literally need it to survive. It's like a biological requirement. And that's the same with all these dependencies. So that's insane. The person needs it, you know, which something like alcohol, no big deal. I mean, it's easy to find. So these in some ways aren't so bad, perhaps. You can just keep them on hand, you know, but pretty intense. I mean, the consequence of them dying, I suppose you'd know, like they're in a coma for 30 days and you didn't do something about it, then I wonder, how do you get them out of a coma to give them alcohol so they don't die? I don't know. You want to evolve into mutants. Well, they don't. Do they have green skin? They do. They have green skin. It's possible. Well, let's take a look at what I have. Okay, let's start with that. Because this, so we have Lunus horribilis, which is kind of like a mutant, actually, now that you mention it. Let's look at what I gave this initial... Look at the number of traits I gave. And I want to cut this down because it's like... We have a complexity of 25, which I think is pretty insane. I don't know if it's advisable to take a complexity of 25. And I'm going to look into this afterwards. I'm going to look into this. And if you have comments, let me know. Like, if any of the viewers right now know more than I do about biotech, genetics, which is probably 50% of you know more than I do, I suggest, let me know in the comments, if not now, after the fact, how you would guide me on this. But here's Lunus horribilis, or Cro-Magnon, which is a variation on the concept of Neanderthal. Okay, let's just go through what I have, and then we'll talk about it. So, strong immunity. Neanderthal had that. Fast wound healing. Injuries heal 200%. I'm not committed to this. It's sort of the hardiness concept. Heat and cold tolerant. I think I already said I'm taking those off. Even though they're thematically in place, like they're thematically kind of make sense with a hardy, Cro-Magnon, because they essentially remove challenge from the biomes and the clothing structure, I think I'm going to let them go. Aggressive. This is a big one for me, I think. It gives us +2 metabolic efficiency, so it's 2 or 3 points to balance, but it causes social fights that are violent. So you have to be real careful with this Cro-Magnon, mutant basically, that you... Thank you, Funky. That, we can't let this thing break, because it's 200% more likely to go smash the heads of everybody in the colony. Can you imagine if you had this as like a group? Like if we made it a tribe of these and they start having social breaks and their fights cause each other to have violent breaks? It could be just an absolute melee destruction. I mean, maybe that's why Neanderthals never survived and bred out and disappeared, right? Their species disappeared is because they did this. I mean, heck, maybe this is thematic. Maybe we need it. Although it's definitely like a Pandora's box kind of one. Let's look at this. Strong melee damage, melee 150. I think that's what I... So just to give you the overview, like I want this thing to be strong, somewhat human-like, melee focused, and impaired at intelligence and development of intellect. The idea being that going to space, throwing that bone up into space is going to take a eureka moment. It's going to take we're going to have to discover the obelisk, basically. You know what I'm saying? So robust, yes. Incoming damage 75%. I don't know how this works. Okay, so these are all cosmetic. I believe my interpretation of what this means is that having these cosmetic features creates a set of allowable cosmetic features. But I don't know. And I have to confirm that, because when you look at the pre-made ones, these don't add complexity, by the way. These are all just cosmetics. But I believe this will constrain them to having these features. So allow them to be hairy or bald, human voice. They're human-like, they're a pre-human, Lunus horribilis, but they have a body that is, where's the body? A Hulk. They have a Hulk body. But this could breed out. A person can have more than one body type gene. One body type will be chosen among those that are allowed. So this could kind of get bred out eventually, right? Which is cool. Anyway, I'll look into this, but this is me trying to constrain how they look. They have basically human traits, but they have a heavy jaw. They don't have a normal jaw, so they have a heavy jaw, they have a heavy brow, and they have a Hulk body. But they can have hair every which way, pretty much. But none of the exotic hair, like none of the colorful hair. Strong stomach. Immune to food poisoning. So this is something that Neanderthal did not have in the custom Neanderthal build, but Yatakin does. So this is a little bit like a cross between a Neanderthal and a Yatakin. So they can eat raw food. They'll never suffer from food poisoning. It's a big thing, It's a nerf. But I like it. So anyway, what do you guys think about that? Is it too much of a nerf? Like, food poisoning is a big part of the game. Robust digestion. Okay, they can eat raw food. Sorry. This is, I had it wrong. This just, no food poisoning. That's all this is. This thing is you can eat raw food and you get nutrition from it. Not only do you not mind eating raw food, but you get 180%. So all this together means that they're actually kind of contradictory, because this means that I think you, okay, no, you can get food poisoning from raw food too, I think. My experience is typically you get food poisoning from preparation of food, but this is saying he doesn't need to prepare food at all. So they're actually, in my mind, they might be slightly contradictory. This guy, look at his stomach. Let's just read what this says. Carriers of this gene grow a multifold stomach. Look at those folds, allowing them to digest raw foods more efficiently than baseline humans. In general, they get the same nutrition from raw food as from if it's cooked. And they also don't mind the taste of raw food. So they're raw food eaters. So it takes cooking out of the game for him. Now, it won't take cooking out of the game for the other colonists, but it takes cooking out of the game for him. He's immune to food poisoning, so if he happens to eat bad raw food or bad cooked food, he's basically a tank when it comes to eating. It's a nerf. But let's see how I balance this. Oh, slow study. So this is part of the balancing. So that's the good stuff. Let me just look if there's anything else. Okay, strong animals. So he has a bonus to animals. I want him to be able to like deal with animals. He's got strong melee. Now you can go stronger melee. This is only melee +4. You can, with all of these, you can go stronger. So you can go, you know, super fast wound healing, or melee. You can go. Oh, maybe there is no super strong melee. There must. There not? Yeah, there is. Where is it? There's great melee, which would give you +8. To me, oh, it adds 1 level of passion in melee as well. Ooh. So you're basically a melee monster. You know what? I was going to search for passion anyway. Let's commit to that. Let's go great melee. He's a clubber. So, but awful shooting. Okay. So let's go back to what I have. Let's focus on this, guys. Excuse me. So I'm now at a metabolic efficiency of 0. So that actually canceled out with me removing the hot and cold thing. So he's an absolute beast with a weapon. But he's got poor construction. So construction -4. Back to this idea that he's a brute, but his intellectual side is weakened compared to human beings. So he's got poor construction, he's got poor crafting, he's got awful art, you know, cave paintings. He's got awful shooting, but he can see in the dark. Work speed's unaffected by darkness, and he doesn't get upset being in the dark. He's a cave dweller. Yeah, there you go, Ankh. That's the $1 million question. Awful social. I think that kind of makes sense. No passions in social. He's not going to be doing social. He's not going to be doing intellectual. He can still technically do them, but he sucks at it. And he's a slow study, so he learns things slower. He has human hands, though. Unstoppable. This is a big one. He can't get staggered. Now, typically, this is something that neither Yatakin nor Neanderthal have. Let me just check. I'm going to overwrite. I'm going to actually overwrite my... Oh, shoot. Did I just blow that? No, it's still... Darn, I blew it. Or did I? Oh, guys. Strong melee damage. Sorry about this, guys. Yeah, but that's separate from great melee. No, he's still got it. So I saved it somehow. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, what was I just saying? Unstoppable. Yeah, I wanted to look at Neanderthal. He doesn't have unstoppable, and neither does Yatakin. Yatakin and Neanderthal are the two kind, and pigskin are the three kind of, you know, wild animal types. Primitive beings. Pigskin's basically a half human. He has strong stomach and robust digestion. So we're kind of looking at a combo here of all of these. Lunus horribilis is kind of a combo of Yatakin, pigskin, and Neanderthal. He's got a little less complexity now too, which is good. So unstoppable is a big deal. It stops you from getting, it allows him to run away basically when he gets hit. He can't cook, but he doesn't need to cook. He's not very good at farming either. He's good with animals. He's got a +4. I kind of like this character. And the aggressive thing. That's the big question for me, I think, is the aggressive. Is how bad is that going to be? But we won't know till we try, really. And who knows? Maybe his children won't inherit that awful gene. I don't know what else I could give him poor on, you know, if I wanted to remove that. I think it's thematically kind of interesting. We have to be especially careful with his mental breaks. It'll be slightly balanced by the fact that he's immune to like food poisoning and stuff. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this, guys. This is not like the final thing, but let's play with this a bit. Let's just mess around with it and just see how it... We have 15 or so minutes left. I'm not going to start the run because we're going to do a little more research before I start the run. And frankly, the run will probably be like attempt, right? I won't probably succeed. I'm curious about these. These are interesting because we could do something like alcohol dependency, right? And it's not really going to cause much of a problem, you know, like you can find alcohol. It's no big, like, you know, smoke leaf dependency. And they're immune to the addiction on it too, which is, it's actually kind of powerful. These things are easy to find, you know, they're no big deal. Everybody's got alcohol and smoke leaf on Rimworld. They're super easy to find. He needs it every 5 days. I didn't read that. Okay. Excuse me. He needs it every 5 days for both of them. Okay, that's a little more. I wonder what the smoke leaf deficiency debuff is. That's a little more aggressive, but you could get +6 for that, which is pretty cool. And that would really, you could really go crazy with that. Like I could make him more extreme. I could give him like, what would I give him? I might take off the aggressive, although the aggressive again is thematic. So perhaps we keep it. It's going to be a real pain in the butt to deal with though. It's really going to be a pain in the butt. But I could, if I took 2 of those, like let's say I went crazy and took 2, because these ones are pretty easy to get, alcohol and smoke leaf, so I could get +6. So I could drop that, would still leave him with 4. Even if I took one of them, like just the beer one, beer every 5 days, that's a lot. I mean, beer doesn't show up that often. In the early game, he'd suffer, but what would I give him, I guess? Or what would I take off? Like what other debuffs would I take off? I'd probably give him better than strong animals. I'd probably give him like epic animals. I'd give him great animals. Do I do it? I could also just make him more hungry. You can just feed him more. I mean, he's gonna have more food because, you know, there's no reason we can't do that. I don't know. Another interesting one is this, guys. I was looking at this. This is cool. Okay, check this out. Mild cell instability. Carriers of this gene need less metabolic energy to stay alive at the cost of reduced stability in their cell replication machinery. So it gives us +2 efficiency. Lifespan factor, 80%. So they live only 4/5 of the life of a regular person. But frankly, these guys, you know, in the Tundra Transit Challenge, we lived for what, 5 years? It was a long series. I was like 2 months or something, right? We lived for 5 years. If we want to do generations and actually have babies and stuff, we're talking about living for 20 years or something. That's like a year of my life of streaming. I'm not sure I want this guy to live 100% of his life, you know? Immunity gain speed, 96% of 110. So it would remove or mitigate a bit the immunity thing. I don't know if there's a stronger immunity. Okay, sorry, and there's one stronger version of this, which is major cell instability. So 60% life, cancer rate factor 500%. It's 300% for this. And then what's the 92% immunity gain? So I don't know what 92% of 110% is, but I can find out real quick. I should know this. 110 times 0.92. 101.2. So we could still, we're still, if we take that, we're still a percent up on the immunity gain speed. Basically nullifies that aspect. The immunity gain thing is real, because disease infection will kill you dead in Rimworld. It's really serious. It's really serious. Yeah, Chance. I didn't actually know that it would take multiple years. I didn't. I didn't know. You know what it is? I'm slow. If I was like a serious, like concentrating person, I would do like 4 episodes a week or something and grind through it. But here's where we're at, you know? I think this might be a bit much, but I'm tempted by this because I don't want them to live that long, frankly. I need my calculator again. What's 110 times 0.96? 105. So it's a 5% advantage on immunity. That's not bad. That might tip the scales. So you give them minor cell instability. Inbred. What's inbred? Fertility times 0.5. Immunity gain speed times 0.85. That's pretty harsh. The 0.85 is very harsh. And we want to pass on our genes. But you can balance that with something else, which is... where is it? Let's see. Fertility times 200. That just gives you complexity. Oh. And there's also one which is high libido. Increases the chance of loving. Oh my god. So what you can do is you can just... Like I could take... It's the immunity gain speed is the punishment here. Oh. Forced traits is slow learner? That's crazy. It forces a trait of slow learner, but we already have slow learner. Oh, we have slow study. It's different. It's different. It's different. Wow, so those could compound. This one's kind of interesting. You gain bonuses when you're exposed to pollution. Yeah, Matt, we're building the custom, what I'm calling right now is named Lunus Horribilis, but yeah. I may ask you, Matt, to review the last 15 to 20 minutes of the stream at some point, because I think you are the kind of person that will really be able to help me on this. I'm into detail, complexity, micro, min-max hell. And I promise, guys, I will spend some time on this offline. I'm not going to just brain dump you on all of this. I'm just giving you a flavor of what I'm going through right now. And I swear to God, we'll play a little bit of Rimworld. This stream. This is not going to be a menu stream entirely. I will give you 10 minutes of Rimworld, guys. So let's do that. So we're at a metabolic efficiency of 0. I did that by giving myself cell instability, but I also gave myself... I have to look back at what I did. But we gave ourselves mild cell instability, but also gave myself great melee, great animals, which I think was worth it. I think it was worth it. Let's do it. Let's see what this one's like. So if I go... How do I save the darn thing? This is important here. Look, genes are heritable. All the genes in this genotype can be passed on to your children. If you don't click this, I believe nothing gets passed on. And you can pick a weird head for it. Maybe this is... Or this. This looks so savage. It is Lunus Horribilis. That does look a bit like Lunus Horribilis, actually. Yeah, we're in the spreadsheet world here, man. It's pretty up. Look at hyper aggressive. Social fights 300%. Mental breaks are always violent. Oh my gosh. I am very much inclined to remove the aggressive one because it's going to be hell to deal with. So I feel like just in the interest of survival, that one I think is very, very counter to survival. But I'd have to find something else nasty to give him in replacement of that. I think we have fast wound healing. I feel like this one I was kind of on the fence about. Fast wound healing. But we could cancel those two. It's a bit of a nerf, you know? It makes it easier. It's just a nerf. It's a straight nerf. So maybe we take... Oh, darn. Maybe we take those two out. That's another take on this, is not having the aggressive, but not having the wound healing. I kind of like that, actually. Maybe that's better. I do like reduced pain, I will say. But it's a nerf. I mean, robust is a nerf. There's a lot of nerfs here. I don't know. Let's just... I'll come back to this. I did say I'd do 10 minutes of Rimworld, so let's do 10 minutes of Rimworld. So, and let's pick the... Oh yeah, we are Lunis Horribilis. So I believe... Found one for us. This is technically a... Oh my gosh. Look at the melee of 18. He's a planet-known master of melee. Oh my god. I think that's a bit overpowered. Is Animals 11? Look at him. He's brutal. He's a masochist. Oh my... Incapable of animals? But you have an Animal 11? How's that? Okay, let's put the filter on. I don't think I need to filter by age because it's forced, I believe. So, you know, melee I don't need to worry about. Construction, he has to have, I want to say 3 construction. Although we had a nerf on construction. He has to have some construction though. Interesting. I have to relook at this. Some of my stuff's kind of contradictory because he needs to have some construction if he's going to be a lone start. He doesn't need cooking. I don't know. He needs animals we have to worry about. He needs to have some crafting. He needs to have medical 5. That's one thing we definitely need to have because he will die. He will just die. Animals will leave because you know he'll be high on animals. Construction 2, I'd say, is entry level. Plants 1. He doesn't need plants 1. He can be plant 0. You get intellectual 0, artistic 0. I would like him to have a passion for crafting and or for construction. Melee, he will end up having a passion for either way. I think I'm going to reduce that melee advantage. It's too strong. Let's go back. Let's go back. It's too strong. It's just too strong. Let's take off the great melee. It's just way too strong. Let's put on good melee. I don't want to be like a super soldier. Strong melee is good enough. And that means we can take on... We can take off the construction one for crafting. It's pretty strong, you know, -4. Let's say crafting is not, and construction are not necessarily lore friendly because they're like, he's Neanderthal, they can craft tools. He's a Cro-Magnon, they craft sharp objects and tools. He's gonna be okay at crafting. Let's say this is good. Let's go with this for now. This is a lot more balancy. Like it's kind of, we're regressing to the average here a little bit, but it's still interesting to me. Let's go with that for a bit. And do I still have my filter? Yes. So did this pass the filter? Yeah, in a very short number of rolls too. Lunis Horribilis, Kozo Tiger, 7 melee, but no passion for that. I think, okay, now I want it. I want a double passion on that. Let's go. It ran out of, oh, I got the rolls. Let's change the filter. I want no health condition, no pain. No pain. I want, let's do 2500. I want no incapables. Well, okay. I can always press randomize again if I have to. Ooh, you add those constraints and it hurts it. Wood in hand? How is that allowed? He's slothful, I won't take it. Look at that. Feel the iterations, guys. Okay, sickly. Interesting. An awful immune system, but we also have an immune system. This is the kind of extreme character we're talking about, right? No shooting, no cooking, no plants, no artistic, no social, no intellectual. I like this. This is kind of what we're talking about. Melee, construction, the basics, animals, medical. What you're looking at is Lunis Horribilis. Let's do this. Let's see how bad Sickly is. Let's go in. The medical +4 is interesting. So yeah, the backstory here is your parents were killed by a cave bear and you fled into the wilderness. And I started with a wooden club and 72 squirrel meat, guys. Okay, hold on a sec. So let's just see where we are again. We're in desert, okay. And it's a colony, former colony, abandoned colony. Oh, check it out. Okay, interesting. So the problem with the abandoned colony is that many of these rooms, oh wow, there's lots of stuff here. A good, whoa. I mean, this is almost like overpowered, eh? So these rooms that are dark could have traps and evil stuff in them. But yeah, look at this map. This is desert, abandoned colony. We could start here if we want, if we didn't trust this thing, which I don't really. But let's trust it. And this is a desert map. It has no good growing zones, but it has a big, okay growing. Fertility 100%. So that's actually very reasonable. Wow. And there's a lot of wood here to tear down. Okay, so let's do it. Let's build. I guess we're going to be sleeping. None of them are. Oh, the closed ones are the ones that are sealed off. Okay. I mean, this is a base, guys. I've never. Okay, so just, you know, full disclosure, I've never seen this scenario before. Krika. Let's go, Krika, and build a stockpile zone right here. I guess this is going to be our room. Let's do. I guess, you know, let's not mess around. Okay, so let's just claim this all. A slate table, marble table. Let's deconstruct the slate. Let's just uninstall this for now. A good Pila. That's awesome. That's going to be way better than the club, right? Damage 25. I mean, I'm assuming that's awesome. And look, a bow to start, guys. And chairs. I mean, this is super powerful. Super powerful. What happens if you deconstruct this? Can you put that as your... No. Oh, you're right. Tamat, so very astute. We only get caught with what we... Oh, I got nothing for that. Okay, so we still gonna have a wood shortage. We can tear down these doors and stuff, though. We have beds already. Like, this is really... Well, look at this. A recurve bow. A good recurve bow. Oh my gosh. That's insane what we started with. Equip that as a sidearm. And let's uninstall and reinstall here. And let's get... Yeah, we need beds. We're going to do that. Okay, we need to get some... I need enough to build a door. So let's harvest this. This thing's starving? No, it's okay. Let's get the work set up. Let's plant cut. And let's put the schedule on, give you a little bit of rec. Okay, no, don't do this. Go plant cut. Yeah, so she has no plants. So that's going to be a big disadvantage. Just no plant skill whatsoever. Oh, that's true. Thanks to Matt, you're right. But, you know, 24, we need one more. We got Ancient Danger here. I'd say this is a legendary good start, from what I can tell. Like, It's sweet. Now the wood shortage is real. Like it's... We got a bunch of hostile animals around here, but... Yeah, I'm just going to set up the door, and then we're going to... basically start to enjoy our... Oh, whoa, what are you doing? Oh, walk, okay. I thought she was going to go in there. 40 people. Oh my gosh. Welcome. Everybody in the chat that's here. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So, I mean... If anything, I would say that this abandoned village is a little bit overpowered. Just off the top of my head, right? Yeah, fix that bed. What are you doing? Taking stuff? Oh, wait. So you got to be careful here. Right? It's extended our home zone a bit. He's doing repairs and stuff on these buildings that I don't like. Be careful on that one. What are you doing? Wandering. See, if you wander into the wrong building here, it could be over. Inspired surgery. What? Oh yeah, you have this high medical skill. So I'd say this is a really powerful start. The big disadvantage is going to be wood, but on the flip side, you know, we have all this wood to break down. It's quite powerful. And we have construction 4, so what can we build? We can build spike trap. This is a pretty powerful start. Like I'm like, whoa. So let's take a quick look at the research tree. So what does this person start with? It's a tribal start, right? So we got tree sowing, recurve bow, passive cooler, pemmican, fishing, cycloid brewing. Real basic. See, this is why if you had the dependency, the beer dependency, you have 5 days. You have 5 days to find beer, right? It's kind of crazy. So, let's see what else is here. It's pretty sparse. Like, this is pretty sparse for animals. So I guess what I would do, even though we have the worst, we have terrible, we have terrible skill, we can still do it. What's this thing? Like, what a start that is, you know? Let's claim that. Claim. Now, everybody, like, you know, everything I claim here, costs us. Gonna repair it all. That's all good stuff. So the natural thing, once we get everything planted, is to go search out all the empty... I mean, this is just set up for all kinds of stuff. It's a huge advantage by the looks of it. A heat wave, okay. So Randy's on our case right off the bat. We need a passive cooler for that. Rare thrombos. Randy's getting stuff going. How hot is it in here? It's extremely hot. That's gonna spoil. So the reason to cook this stuff is because it spoils. So if you go 20 wood, we got a wood shortage, you know, it's real. How much is the passive cooler? 50 wood. It's expensive. Actually, chance. We could call this species muton, and I could force them to have green skin. Like, you know, could be muton evolution. You know, like, I'm not against that concept. Come on, Chica, Krika. So. Maybe it needs to be muton. Yeah, Matt, we're gonna go tomorrow. We're gonna go in and look at those. I'm gonna check all these places out and probably get jumped, but I should make sure we eat some of this before it goes. We don't have enough to cook it, unfortunately. Actually, they can even eat rotten food. Oh, it disappears when it rots. So yeah, there goes our squirrel meat. Yeah. I'm assuming we can kill some of this stuff. Like guinea pigs. We can kill that lizard, I think, probably. We're gonna have to. Yeah, I don't know if this... Yeah, in this case, the sickly is a little non-Mutonian, but... Abandoned child. That actually is consistent with our backstory. I guess they weren't abandoned, sorry, it's not consistent. They were lost child, I guess, to be clearer. Okay, that's a done deal. So plants, rice is planted. Let's go get us a lizard. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, so this could not go well. Like, see, she's still getting shooting skill though, 0.3. It's a recurve bow too, no less. It's awesome. What a start. Yeah, so she's gonna have to go beat things over the head. Go melee. No, don't fire. You have this. Maybe I don't understand this. Why isn't it giving the option to... Oh, you throw this. I had no idea. Okay, sorry guys. I had no idea. I've never used that. I had no idea it was a ranged weapon. Okay, go get your club. It's a spear. Of course it's a spear. I thought you just jab people with it, but... Go melee attack this thing. Here's what happens when you bash the lizard. Just like that. And we go harvest it out. Yeah, I guess he's a girl. Krika. But the differences are slight. Okay, clean that rock rubble. But this is a abandoned base. I'd say, honestly, it's a little bit strong. I could see if you were to, like, travel here. Oh, she got heat stroke. That's not good. Okay, well, we may die here, guys. It's holding. Okay, it's holding. Getting cooler overnight. Okay, let's go see what's what. Okay, so that was clear. Wow, look what's in here, guys. Nothing hostile. Abandoned is right. It was super abandoned. So this is super, super chill. It was totally passive. There's nothing. I will say I feel like slightly disappointing. Yeah. So in the beginning I was saying, you know, you should have to work towards the spacecraft. Well, I think it's on day, like, I forget what day it is that the thing's going to show up, but we'll get that quest where it says you need to, you know, you can drop that pod down, the graph ship's core, and use it. So one thing about desert biome, I you know, again, back to the fact that I'm a total noob at this game, I don't know how you survive in the desert because there's no medicine. So, you know, sickly, not the right thing to have here, let me tell you. I don't know where you get medicine. I think you might have to plant, which we can't, of course, but you might have to plant. Like you can plant heal root if you have a planting of 8, which we do not. So I don't know what you do for heal root in the desert. You have to go trade with somebody or something. Here we are. This is us. Another abandoned colony. Neutral. We have to go all the way there. No, you don't need water. So that's another thing. But like, look at it. I'm just like, I'm shocked at the space. Like, the space is so epic. Sheep will bedroll, like, you know. Like, so what would I do? I'd probably tear down some of these buildings for wood, right? Like, well, these are good little bedrooms. It's not a bad base. There's a temptation to keep it. But honestly, I've never had this situation before. We need to put a lot more doors on it, but... And basically, you know, get some traps. I think ultimately these bases will get torn down. And this seems a little dense for my liking, but like, there's unlimited prison cells and stuff here. This is a natural storeroom. You know, I'd probably do something like... .42, still heat stroke territory. Not getting worse though. Okay, let's accelerate and let this go to work here. So one thing we might have enough for soon is a passive cooler. Let's put that down. Temperature, passive cooler. There we go. Coming down a little bit in here. It's 48 degrees. It's quite the heat wave. It's kind of like it is outside today, actually. We're going to need food, right? Okay, I just ran out of food, so... We're not going to attack the thrombos. What are we going to attack? This thing. Are armadillos dangerous? I feel like everything... Oh, here we go. They're not dangerous when a cougar ate it already. So let's do it. Oh, we got something else here. Ancient danger, yep, good. A cougar did some damage. Eat that old filthy meat. Good. And let's put in a door here. I mean, this is a great base already. It's already like an awesome base. We just have to fill these in with doors, and we have like sub-chambers here that we can use for all kinds of stuff. It's pretty amazing. Right? Like if we go... Sorry, my mind is having to go in reverse here, but something, I'm trying to think of something like this. And I guess we should just sell all these, you know? The first time we get a... We will need beds, but... Meditating hard. I feel like most of the animals in the game are dangerous, you know? Like it's unusual to find a... Okay, let's put in a big stockpile here. Oh, this one needs to be closed off. I didn't see that. Yeah, having a big predator running around is actually kind of a good thing until they run out of food, and then it's a big problem. But yeah, the big challenges, two challenges for the desert biome that I don't know the answer to, or the solution to, is medicine and wood. You know, and in Tundra, we had a wood problem, but honestly, Tundra had way more wood than this, so... This is just desert, too. This is not extreme desert. I think extreme desert has, like, no growing area. I mean, if we didn't have this base to tear down, I'd say we'd be in rough shape. Oh, roof collapse. Oh, cut on the head. Failure. Oh. What? That's not good. Yeah, traps need material though, so. We're gonna need a column in here. Or just a wall. Yeah, we'll see, because if she gets an infection, she's probably toast. That really hurt. I mean, the roof caved in her head, right? Roof collapse. That was all me. Inspired surgery. Too bad she can't do surgery. You know, I don't know if these... There's nothing that comes to these things, but... I just want to make them go away because they're annoying. Okay, she's eating. Sleeping. Pain's going down. She's healing. As long as there's no infection, we're probably okay. I should know this, Matt. That would be like an entry-level Rimworld question to answer, and I don't know the answer. Yeah, these 32% grown. It's coming along. I'm actually surprised that this collapsed. I think the reason is that we had a roofed-in area. Like, I'm gonna cancel this. I think you can still roof this all without it collapsing. I think it's because I had an internal building with roof. So what I need to do is before I do one of these, I need to de-roof it. Like these ones, I should do that right now. I should learn from my mistake. Okay, Krika, she's fully healed. She's resting up. She's going to eat her one little tiny piece of morsel of meat left. And then we're going to go look for more meat. But yeah, you know, I'm getting what I asked for. I wanted desert. I wanted challenge. And it's becoming pretty clear that I don't know how to deal with this. Okay, let her remove the roof. Lest we have another cave in. Nice one, Krika. Okay, that I feel safer now, but we need to get you to go deal with one of these things. We're after the armadillos. We're living off the armadillos at this point. Uh-oh. Started. The huge savings is that she can eat raw meat. It's kind of amazing. I think she's a pretty powerful character, actually. Considering she can't do really any research or anything, she's totally locked down that way, but 11 animals, you know, she could probably tame one of these things. This is a strong character. I think a strong character. Crafting, we don't really care so much about crafting yet. I mean, it'll all come down to, does she get a different, another pawn? And you know, the game gives you other pawns. It just gives you them. There's actually a mod for that I was thinking of looking at. Mortal Smurf was using a max colonist mod. So basically, the game has an implicit max number of colonists. I don't know how it's computed, but it's like 8 or 30 or something. And until you reach that maximum, the game keeps giving you pawns, either by transport pods or people just show up. It just gives you pawns over time until you reach the max. And so, you know, it's kind of like, wait, what's going on here? Stockpile 2. Make this a priority. Let's put weapons back here. And like other stuff. What's this stuff? Granite bed, slate table. Let's put buildings, put all that stuff back there. But yeah, it gives you pawns. So the problem is that, you know, as much as I want to start there, mechanoid signal. So this is the one where we drop the grab engine. So if I wanted to, my Cro-Magnon Muton, my Cro-Muton, maybe that's what it is. Cro-Muton could drop a grav core. What is it? Grav core? Grav engine here. And it would sit here for the 1,000 years it takes them to figure out how to throw a bone into space. Until we can research basic grav tech. So it's actually not that bad. She needs to get electricity. How do you get electricity? Why is there nothing? I'm not understanding this path here. How is it nothing leading into it? Oh, you can just directly, okay, you can directly research electricity. 3,200, it's huge. Then you go for GravTech. So you're looking at 3,800 before you can get GravTech. At her rate, she's never doing that. It's not happening. Those walls are juicy. We're getting a lot for them. This is really juicy yield. I think I'm going to deconstruct these. Can we destruct the sheeproll bed too? We probably can. That's epic. So you get sheeple out of that. Oh, dromedaries showed up. And these are awesome because they produce milk. I wonder if she'll be able to do it. That would be insane. What are you going to get for the bed? Oh, there's sandstone bed. She's going at it. But look at this base already. Like, this is so huge. I think it's a bit too easy. What one was that? Oh, it was here. Yeah, I guess I didn't properly de-roof this, but luckily... Oh, she did get hit by it. No. Again. Okay, so one other thing I'm learning about deconstruction. Oh my gosh. It's insanely dangerous. Yeah, I got a lot to learn there, guys, about how to do this. It's the first time I've ever had to deconstruct a base I found. Okay, something... Oh, that's still our cougar. Oh, YouTube wants me to insert ads. No. So relentlessly trying to get you to do that. And it's like, no. I should have listened. I thought I did this one. Maybe I didn't. I thought I de-roofed it. So yeah, lesson is de-roof hard prior. She's gonna have to go out with her busted head and smash a, smash something. Smash a lizard. Let's check this thing. Oh no. The cougar's hungry. It's gonna come hunting her for sure. It's sleeping. When it wakes up, it's gonna go hunting. I'm just gonna let it recover and hopefully the cougar wakes up and does a hunt because I don't want to deal with that thing. I have no traps. Maybe it goes after a dromedary. She's just gonna rest and suffer. What's that? Oh, RimHUD. I didn't even know what that was. That's cool. It's a mod. What are you gonna do? Cougar? Go eat something. The second I step out the door, it's gonna attack us. Is she not healing? Uh-oh. She is healing, but she's not healing. Maybe it's canceling out because of the starvation. I think it is. Oh. She can probably cut this. 78%. Let's do it. Here we go. We're going to get hunted. Oh, we made it. It's like it wants us. It doesn't see us yet, though. It's in a bad way. I don't think we can bash that cougar. That cougar will bash us. Cougar, you have to trap, I think. So this is like a really, really strong start. Okay, so when she had food, she recovered pretty quick. So yes, note to self, you cannot really recover if you're starving, which does make a ton of sense. As soon as that cougar sees something, it's going to attack it. It'll be one of these dromedaries. Okay, we got to do the same thing. Harvest this. It's probably going to see her now. Oh, it's not coming around the corner. Harvest botched. That's what you get with like negative plants. Go eat that. The beauty of eating raw food. It's so good. Alright guys, so we're at 11:30, which is kind of longer than I planned on going. I was really thinking going to 11, but you know, I think we had a good talk tonight. I feel like I covered all the topics I want to talk about. You know, we talked about the new additions that Rimworld Odyssey has, the incredibly cool new world editions, biome editions, animal editions, landmark editions. So cool. We talked about the grab ship and how insanely awesome it is. And I talked about my sense of kind of how I want to play going forward is to build towards grab ship. I mean, again, I'm still mostly interested in like a nothing start. So I will probably be, I think I'm honing in on it here, guys. I almost feel like this is what I want. I do feel like this start is a bit too easy. I hate to say that the very first landmark I tried, I found to be unbalanced. But maybe they're all like that. I don't know. Let's see. The desert's still harsh. Like I like the desert. I was like, oh, this is, I don't know what I'm going to do. Or, oh, so that's why we ran out of time the first time I did the graph ship scenario, is that the clock is still on here when I was in the world. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, I feel like, I mean, this is still an extremely sparse area. Like this desert, is this desert or extreme desert? It's just desert, guys. It's not extreme desert. This is extreme desert. That would be something else. But it's kind of like the equivalent of tundra, but it's proving to be very, very sparse. And we don't have medicine. Now with the medical 7, this survivor might just be okay because they can do an unmedicated heal that's reasonable. But basically, without traders, I don't know what you're gonna do. And look at it, like we just got lizard and predators. It's really we're about to have a starving cougar running around here. So yeah, I don't know. In some ways, if it hadn't been for this, I'd probably be dead already on this map. So that goes to show that. Well, maybe not. Maybe I could have set up here. Maybe I would have been similarly. Like in the end, this just gave us a bit extra wood. It gave us this as a bonus, the chair. And the bed right off the bat was sweet. A good bed. That's amazing. I mean, maybe this map is deliberately sparse on wood compared to... It does seem like that to me. Like it seems like there's fewer cactuses and there's none of those... what are those trees called? I forget. There's a type of tree that grows in the desert and desert tiles. This looks very sparse for wood. So maybe the backstory is that this is where all the wood is. You know, the survivors that were here stripped it and, you know, ate all the animals too, because it's pretty sparse. Now we could hunt the dromedaries. It'd probably come down to that. But how much better would it be to tame them and then slaughter them, right? Then I'd have to hunt them. But this is a great placement of Ancient Danger. You know, as soon as somebody shows up, you could trigger it. I don't know, guys. I think this is a pretty good start, but I'd be interested to see. Yeah, cacti, that's the main wood source. And you can see there's very few. Like, you know, that's all the cacti. There really aren't too many. Cacti don't give you much wood either. It's 10 or something. So it's almost a woodless region. When, you know, in the desert, passive cooling, you almost have to rush for tech, you know? Yeah, Zoe, we'd be living on lizards, you know? That's what's right. We'd be living on lizards. I mean, I suppose maybe Randy throws you a survivor next that's a research survivor. And you attack research and you go to what? Oh, we have tree sowing. Darn. Well, I didn't even think of that, guys. I never even thought of that. Can it be done? Yeah. Oh, min skill 6. No, we can't. Haha. Yeah. Gated by skill, of course, for trees. So we know about it, but we can't. We just know somebody can do it. We can't do it ourselves. So yeah, the wood situation's pretty real. That's a new challenge. I'm gonna have to check out what the best way to deal with that is, and I've never really known what to do with the medical issue and the wood issue. They're both extreme. This guy, oh, he killed something and he ate it. He killed my lizard. Why can't you do it? Oh, he ate the whole thing? No. What do you mean? Oh, because he's eating it still. Leave some for me, man. Oh, he ate what he could. He filled his guts on that. Yes, you can break down the bedrolls for wool. That's so crazy. So the cougar is actually decent. Like, we've been living off that cougar so far, you know? Everything he's killed, we've eaten the scraps on. And we've got a rice growing, so that's coming along. So even with the 1 plants, we're kind of... And, you know, we're 0 plants, but we'll be 1 soon. We almost have enough lizard to do stuff with it. I don't know, guys. It's good. You know, it's good so far. I don't mind this. I don't mind this character build so far. I mean... I'm going to take another look at it, but I think we're kind of okay. Like, I think we're kind of in a good place with it, so... Anyway, let's leave it there. It's getting pretty late. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining us. Great turnout, 45 people. Guys, thank you for coming. Nice to see everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button so you can support the channel. It helps out with all the back-end algorithm stuff. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any guidance for me on how to modify our Crow Muton primitive being that will hopefully, eventually, either them or their children, likely their children, create the grav ship and transit to the stars. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.